September 12th, 2022. Please stand for the pledge. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Motion to appoint Michael Dockery fiscal officer in the absence of Lori Wolf.
So moved.
Mr. Santos?
Here.
Mrs. Davis?
Here.
Mr. Kemp?
Here.
Motion to approve minutes of regular meeting of August 22.
So moved.
I didn't do the introduction.
Yeah, it's
Aye.
right.
That would be nice. Okay, we have the director of the senior center, Jessica Richard. Park Department Supervisor Todd Schaefer is not here today. Fire Chief Andy Frost III. Police Chief Robert Gavalier. Darren Crivelli, Zoning Department Inspector. Road Supervisor Mike Dockery, Administrator Mike Dockery, and filling in for Lori Wolf. Okay, we'll start. Motion to approve minutes of regular meeting of August 22.
So moved. Second.
Mrs. Devers?
Here.
Mr. Kemp?
Here.
Mr.
Yes.
Santos?
Yes. You guys, I got this. Okay, administration report.
The only thing I have a report on, there was a question about whether resurfacing, had started. It has not yet. And I confirmed with RT Verno that we're last on their list. They're going to end the construction season with us, so it's going to be end of September, beginning of October, which they had originally told us at the construction meeting, that's probably when they would start. I was just hoping with what I think has been dry weather, that they would get some of these other jobs done and been able maybe to start us sooner, but it doesn't look like it.
I have a question. I know Country Green, no one took that bid, so we got to wait till next year.
That's going to be part of the resurfacing contract in the spring.
Okay, because I heard we could possibly attach it to a county project as well. Like if they have a bid out there, we can kind of attach it to it. Is that something that we can?
If the county would go along with it.
Okay.
You mean as far as bidding it out? Yeah, you
Bidding
can
it out,
put in your
like,
bid whatever you want, yeah.
Okay. I just figured they were waiting, I don't know how long, see what we can do to minimize the time of the waiting longer.
I'm not sure the county would do it, but
Okay.
I guess it's worth asking.
Okay. Police Department.
I have nothing really to add to report other than Trustee Santos. I don't want to steal your thunder if you're going to speak about that. Trustee Santos called me today in reference to an accident Friday in front of the schools with a student on a roadway. And what had happened is the student was crossing Raccoon Road to go to the condos right across from the entrance. Student was in the crosswalk, legally, he had the right of way to go across, and the lady was turning out of the school and didn't stop, hit the student. There was no injuries to the student, but the student was in, there's crosswalks, there's marked and everything, so the student was in the right of way. It was not like there was no sidewalks or nothing, or crosswalks to walk across. So he was, the student was in the right of way, the driver wasn't.
There was the news call today asking about that to make sure it wasn't like they were walking in the middle of the street or what was going on. I know it was a 6-hour vague on the news report, so that's why I asked, but thank you.
I did notice that the police presence during the morning is up like crazy. I know, I think it was Friday, I seen like probably 6 guys pulled over, going through the school zone, so good job over there.
We have Fire Chief Andy Frost.
No, the motion for approval, I would ask Mike to explain maybe a little more. He's been dealing with that more than I have. I was just involved with the placement.
Yeah, this is for front of fire station number 3. AT&T has other equipment there, and they wanted to add another piece of equipment within the general area of where the existing equipment is. So they're not putting their equipment any closer to the building or towards the driveway. They're keeping it in that same area.
It's mostly an underground vault, is that correct?
Yeah.
So I would ask for that motion for approval, and just to let you know, we are getting hit really hard right now with COVID. A lot of our folks, this new variant is hitting hard. Fortunately, it's just cold-like symptoms, but it does take them off work. So we are dealing with that, and just to make you aware.
Motion to approve easement agreement 20/25 with AT&T at station number 3 located at 2650 South Raccoon Road.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Kent?
Yes.
Mr. Santos?
Yes.
Mrs. Devers?
Yes. Zoning Department.
I would ask the board to approve a nuisance resolution under Ohio Revised Code 50587 and declare the following properties a nuisance: 2691 Beverly, a wealth of junk and debris at the double strip. That should be cleaned up. I called the trash hauler last week. 871 North Canfield Miles Road, high grass and weeds. And this is the property that I emailed the board about last week. It has been sold. I think a company out of California bought it. That station's been vacant at least 14 years, so hopefully with new ownership, maybe we see a project there to clean that up. 3924 Mahoning Avenue, broken doors and windows in need of securing. This house was one of the 25 properties or so I turned into the land bank for demolition. Unfortunately, it's not going to be done because it's still structurally sound. Lot number is 527, 28, 29 Mahoning Avenue, Weeds. This is the vacant land just east of our fire station. 4470 Mahoning Avenue, concrete debris on the east side of the fence. 5228 Mahoning Avenue, high grass and weeds. 702 North Meridian, high grass and weeds. 3698 South Meridian, high grass and weeds in the parking lot. This is that vacant building right at the corner of Meridian and Lynn. 155 Westminster, yard waste at the curb. I'm most likely going to have trash hauler pick that up. That's a rental. 5445 Virginia Drive, high grass and weeds, junk and debris throughout the property. There's 3 basement windows in need of securing. It looks like somebody might be working on that property on and off, but it's a mess.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Santos?
Yes.
Mrs. Devers?
Yes.
Mr. Kent?
Yes.
Okay, I would ask the board to find the following motor vehicles to meet all the following criteria: 3 model years or older, apparently inoperable, extensively damaged, and limited but not limited to any of the following: missing wheels, tires, engines, or transmission. The total quantity vehicles public nuisances under Ohio Revised Code 505.871, order removal of junk vehicles within 14 days after notice is served to the property owner. 5925 Country Trail Drive, an inoperable red PT Cruiser with an expired license plate. GBN 1501 with flat tires, parked in exposed manner within the driveway. 2016 South Turner Road, an inoperable gray Cherokee Sport with an expired license plate. GSD 5760 parked in exposed manner within the drive. And 3645 Nottingham Drive, an inoperable silver Saturn with flat tires and expired license plate. JJJ 5686 parked in exposed manner with the driveway. All 3 of these property owners had got letters from me in August and did not comply.
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Devers?
Yes.
Mr. Kent?
Yes.
Mr. Santos?
Yes.
And then last, I'll just clarify this before we get into it, but the Mahoney County Land Bank received grant money for demolition throughout the county. And as I said, I think last September, October, I sent them a list of what I would call my wish list for demolition. And a lot of the properties fell off. A few of them were actually rehab. But anyways, the board needs to pass resolutions to declare these properties a nuisance, and then I'll do the paperwork and forward this to the land bank. They will actually do the demolitions, and no, I don't have a time frame as to when they will do the demolitions, but they're committed to doing 3 of the 4. One of them was on the list, and I'll tell you once we get to that one. For some reason, it didn't end up in Columbus. So if they don't do it, then I want to do it. And then I remember way back when they administered the AG's Moving Ohio Forward demolition grant, maybe about 2011, 2012, we were awarded, I think, $100,000. And then there was also a match, and I think that match may have been $50,000. So we actually ended up doing more demolitions than what they granted, and then they ended up with money from other areas that weren't used, and then our demolitions were funded. So I'm going to count on that to happen again. But anyways, I would ask the board to pass a motion to adopt a resolution attached and made part of the minutes of the meeting pursuant to Ohio Vice Code 505.86 for the removal demolition of a single-family dwelling located at 1122 Old Town Road, Austintown Township, Mahoney County, State of Ohio, 445155, being further described as parcel 48-047-0-025, lot number 3, W&B Caroline Plats 1 and 2, based on the structure being declared insecure, unsafe, and structurally defective by the Austintown Township Fire Inspector. The demolition will be undertaken by the Mahoney County Land Bank utilizing grant money from the Building Demolition and Site Revitalization Program.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Santos?
Yes.
Mrs. Devers?
Yes.
Mr. Kenneth?
Yes.
I would ask the board to adopt a motion to adopt a resolution attaching a part of the minutes of the meeting pursuant to Ohio Vice Code 505.86 for the removal demolition of the single-family dwelling located at 499 Old Town Road, Austintown Township, Mahoney County, State of Ohio, 44515, being further described as parcel 48-085-0-018, tract 6, based on the structure being declared insecure, unsafe, and structurally defective by the Austintown Township Fire Inspector. The demolition will be undertaken by the Mahoney County Land Bank utilizing grant money from the Building Demolition and Site Revitalization Program.
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Devers?
Yes.
Mr. Kenneth?
Yes.
Mr. Santos?
Yes.
And I'd ask the board once again approve a motion to adopt a resolution attached and made part of the minutes of this meeting pursuant to Ohio Vice Code 505.86 for removal demolition of a single-family dwelling located at 68 East Liberty Street, Austintown Township, Mahoney County, Ohio, 44515, being further described as parcel 48-043-0-050, lot number 216, based on the structure being declared insecure, unsafe, and structurally defective by the Austintown Township Fire Inspector. The demolition will be undertaken by Mahoney County Land Bank utilizing grant money from Building and Demolition Site Revitalization Program.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Kenneth?
Yes.
Mr. Santos?
Yes.
Mrs. Devers?
Yes.
And a motion to adopt the resolution attached and made part of the minutes of the meeting pursuant to Ohio Vice Code 505.86, the removal and demolition of a single-family dwelling located at 76 East Liberty Street, Austintown Township, Mahoney County, State of Ohio, 44515. Said property being further described as parcel 48-043-0-052, lot 214, based on the structure being declared insecure, unsafe, and structurally defective by the Austintown Township Fire Inspector. Demolition will be undertaken, hopefully, by the Mahoney County Land Bank, utilizing grant money from Building Demolition and Site Revitalization Program. I don't know, they didn't send it down to Columbus, so, but we'll do it, and then, matter of fact, we'll probably try to partner with their general contractor, that way these houses will see each other. And if we have to pay for it, we have to pay for it, but I'm confident we'll be able to turn it in and get money. Or if you don't want to tear it down, you don't have to, but I'm recommending.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Santos?
Yes.
Mrs. Devers?
Yes.
Mr. Kenneth?
Yes.
All right, that's all I have, thank you.
You didn't say this.
No, that's good. Yeah.
Making sure.
Hey, Mr. Chairman, can I talk to the zoning real quick?
Yes.
Couple questions.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I have one more motion.
Oh, go right ahead.
Okay, sorry. Motion to certify the Mahoney County Auditor that the spreadsheet entitled Austintown Township Nuisance Assessments, May 23rd, 2022 to August 8th, 2022, attached and made part of the minutes of this meeting is an accurate description of the properties declared public nuisances, includes all costs incurred in providing for the abatement, control, removal of any vegetation, garbage, or refuse, or other debris as provided by Ohio Vice Code 505.87, including the board's charges for its services, the costs incurred in providing notice, any fees or interest paid to borrow monies, and the amount paid for labor, materials, and equipment. The board of trustees request the Mahoney County Auditor place the costs listed upon the tax certificates of the described properties. The cost will be a lien upon the lands from and after the date of the entry, the cost shall be returned to the township and placed in the township's general fund. This is obviously when you guys approach on the nuisance, whether the road department abates the nuisance or we hire a contractor to abate it, the final cost determined. And then I try to do this quarterly
So moved.
so that these go on the tax duplicates.
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Severs?
Yes.
Mr. McCann?
Yes.
Mr. Santos?
Yes.
All right, sorry, Darren. Starbucks, what's the holdup with their opening?
Starbucks is unique. It's a 1,000 square foot building. It took the developer about 3 months to build the building. It's taken like 3 months to actually do the internal build out. They are looking at the third week of September to open.
We send them a letter or something to clean up their weeds or?
No, that's all, you just passed it, you just did the nuisance on
I
it.
do.
50 something, 28,
55.
28, yeah, that was it.
What about Chipotle and what's the status with which?
Chipotle is under construction, everything's moving along there. I had some problems with the site development contractor, but that is moving forward. I think they want to be open by January. They're trying to figure out signage. They're not sure if they want to do a highway sign. I think they should. I'd like to see them utilize the highway sign that was there for the motel, but, you know, that's something they have to work out with that property owner. Unfortunately for them, the state will not give them access onto 46 because they have access out to 76 Drive. We told them we wanted them to be able to access 76 Drive so people heading south could go out at the light. Well, the state won't even give them right in, right out, but we told Chipotle, whatever that process is, if there is a process that they can apply for a variance with the state, the township will support the right in, right out at least. But the access will come from 46, and the site's progressing.
What about Wedgewood, the storage center?
The storage center is still under demolition. They approached me a while back. I did write them a letter maybe a year ago regarding climate control self-storage as being a permitted use. I haven't seen any drawings yet. They don't need a zoning permit for demolition, but they'll submit drawings when they're ready to build it out for that climate control. Because they'll have to go through zoning, building, and fire. And my understanding is they will put on a gable roof as part of the
Yeah,
project.
thanks. They seemed like they went in there gung ho and all of a sudden it just.
Slow it down.
Yeah, you want to know something? They could be having second thoughts about climate control self-storage, and maybe they're marketing it or, you know, quietly marketing it to see if they can put something else in there. And, you know, just in the construction industry, I'm never shocked right now by delays for anything.
Right.
You know.
I was just wondering, if we were driving by and just all of a sudden it just stopped and.
Anything on the skate park?
The skate park hired the firm that Tracy Cadwick works for. I can't think of the name. Gemini, and we should see drawings by the end of this month. Their issues are, yeah, it is partially zoning, but the real, more important were the fire and the building. And I talked to both the fire inspector and the office of the building inspector. I said, why don't you let me bring the enforcement? Because we're zoning, there's a conditional use, and the conditional use permit implies you're going to comply with fire code and building code, even though they're their own separate entities. So we should be seeing drawings at the end of September. If not, you know, I still have that option to bring them back before the board. Since we've had that hearing, I would guess they've been behaving themselves because I haven't had any complaints. And we would like to see them comply with fire and building code. You know, go back to, the board originally set the time frames at close shop by, I think, 10 a.m. or 10 p.m. And, you know, it was never approved to bring your own beer parties. It was never approved to lease out to private entities for their bring your own beer properties. It was never designed for concerts, whatever, stuff like that. So thus far, we haven't had any complaints. I think they're running pretty good, but they still need to get in line with what the building and fire is required. So,
Thank
and
you.
hopefully they will.
Thank you. Jessica, Park Department.
She works in the park now?
Senior Center. Park Department.
Congratulations.
I'm really messing up today. I just figured, might as well do it all the way.
So we got a new pool table at the center. They installed it Friday, so now we're just waiting for all of the pool players to come in. They usually come in Tuesdays. So we're waiting for them to come in because they're gonna be excited. We didn't tell them that we're getting a new pool table. Our old one wasn't to regulation size and it was old, so it had kind of developed a bit of a lean. And when you're playing pool, you can't really have a pool table that leans in one direction. So we got a new pool table, got that all installed, so I'm ready to see all of their reactions to that. It looks really nice. And they took away the old pool table, installed a new one, and leveled it and all that, so it looks really nice. We got a new sign and lighting by the main entrance. So the sign's a lot brighter, it's a lot easier to see, a lot easier to read, and it's got our logo on it, so it looks real nice. Only one of my seniors noticed it. Out of like 300 or 400 seniors that come through the center, only one of them came up to me and went, "Hey, you got a new sign, it looks nice." I was very sad, but I know it's a new sign, and I know it looks nice. So we were excited about that. We did have a COVID outbreak in our staff, and we did have to close for a week before Labor Day, because we only have 4 employees, and all 4 of us had COVID all at the same time. So that gave the senior center kind of a reset, so the seniors could stay home. And we didn't get a spreader event like could have been possible. And we did have Service Master come in and clean the whole center while we were closed. So we started fresh. And the seniors are coming back, and they're having a lot of fun. We had an ice cream truck come today. So they got free ice cream, so they were all excited about that. One of our sponsors brought it in. And last, we had a bunch of people enter stuff in for the fair. And our sewers got a couple second place ribbons on their sewing project, so they were really excited about that. But the big thing was our wines took 5 ribbons, and our one senior, Pam Clevenger, with her black cherry wine, took the best in show for the wine category. So she got best in show out of about almost 200 wines. So she was really excited. So all of our seniors awards are out for display at the senior center. They can stop in and see them anytime you want. But that's our first best in show ribbon coming from one of the projects at the center. So everybody was really excited about that. She got a big purple ribbon, got her picture taken. So it was kind of exciting. Then the last thing I've got is the motion to support the center using our 501c3 from AGE for our grant writing. So we've got a couple of projects. We've got a mastectomy pillow project. We've got a seatbelt strap holder thing that protects your port project that they're doing, and they're also making blankets for the Blue Coat project. So we just want to use the AGE, which was the original entity that formed the senior center. We want to use the 501c3 to do some grant writing to get funding for those projects.
Motion to support the center's mastectomy and blue coat projects in cooperation with the AGE board and using the 501c3 designation for grants to secure funds for said projects.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Kent?
Yes.
Mr. Santos?
Yes.
Mrs. Devers?
Yes. Okay, our fiscal officer is Mike Dockery today.
All I got is what's on there. We approve those reports.
Motion to accept August 2022 report submitted to the board to review. Fund status, revenue status, and appropriation status.
So moved. Second.
Mr. Santos?
Yes.
Mrs. Devers?
Yes.
Mr. Kent?
Yes.
Under new business, we have a motion to set up separate funds for the recently received opiate revenues.
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Devers?
Yes.
Mr. Kent?
Yes.
Mr. Santos?
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher, we have whether to request a hearing on a notice to legislative authority to approve the new permit to Stars Hospitality Group LLC, DBA Candlewood Suites, EXCL Pool Area, 5575 Serene Place, Austintown Township, Austintown, Ohio, for 44515, permit number 8461073, permit class D58. Just wondering what you think about this.
No objections.
No one?
No objections.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Kent?
Yes.
Mr. Santos?
What are we talking about?
Yes.
Mrs. Devers?
Yes.
Sorry, I forgot there. I had a question for Chief, if you don't mind. I think it's the 23rd of this month that townships will have to, probably at the next meeting, vote on authorizing the patrolman to actually go and they do traffic on state roads. Is there anything that's in the works for that, or?
You mean for our department?
Yeah, 'cause I know, I'm not too sure, I'm gonna explain how that works, or, I know we might have some issues where some people say we already have enough speeding on township roads, but some people might be worried if you're not focusing on these roads where it's so short-staffed. Adding roads would obviously be
What had happened is years ago, smaller townships were going out on interstates. Writing tickets to increase revenue, and there was a law passed they couldn't do that anymore on the state routes. And then this year, they passed a law where smaller townships like ours can go down on the state routes and start in front of traffic enforcement. And we took the stand, exactly what you said, we're not going down there to run traffic enforcement on the stands. We have enough problems with speeding in the township here. But we will go down there once in a while with our drug dogs that do drug interdictions down there. But to go down there for traffic enforcement, we don't plan to do
That's
that.
something we're gonna have to vote on, correct? But if I read that, the bill correctly, we would have to put it in the motion to allow.
Let me take a look at it.
Yeah,
I don't know if we have to, if we're not gonna do it, I don't know if we have to vote on it. Let me just check it.
Okay, before I go to public response, I'd like to have Rudy come up and talk about the Junior Women's League and what they're doing here in the next week. Probably should have done that before, but,
I have to state my name on it.
yeah.
Rudy Rodriguez Patterson, which is South Main Street, representing the Austintown Junior Women's League. I am the second vice president of the Austintown Junior Women's League, and we're a public organization for women, and we reach out to the community in different aspects. We do arts and culture projects with the students in the schools, with the nursing homes when we were allowed in there. Education in libraries, we do coloring contests, school supply drives, anything that the teachers want us to do, talking to the students, reading to them a Dr. Seuss Day or Read Across America Day. In environment, we have a pollinator garden at the Township Park. And right now, we're trying to collect 500 pounds of bottle caps so that we can put a bench somewhere in the park. Also, in health and wellness, we do outreach to the nursing homes. And Jessica, we actually helped with the mastectomy fellows at the senior center. And that's where we meet, by the way, at the senior center, the second Wednesday of every month, so that's this Wednesday. And civic engagement and outreach, we'll be doing a trunk or treat. We've done parades, we've done other stuff in the community, just to reach out and let them know that we're here, we're helping. We also, with the schools, if there's a need, counselors might tell us privately if there's a school need, a family that might need help, whether it be Christmas, Thanksgiving, we do collections, we do food drives, and it's all done anonymously and very respectfully. And we're having a membership mixer this Wednesday at 5:30, 6 o'clock at the senior center. And we'll have some games and prizes and things to do and food, and then we'll have a meeting. And it's open to any women, sorry guys, who would like to volunteer in the community. And Monica's a member of our club, as is Chief Frost's wife, and Mike's. And they're invited to come. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming up and speaking. Now I'm open for public response and then beyond camera. If anybody would like to come and make any responses on camera.
I had a couple things. Sam Swagger called me prior to the meeting. He was in another engagement. But he wanted to thank everybody that participated in the 9/11 ceremony yesterday. It was a great success. The weather held off. He wanted to thank police and fire for all they did. The committee for all the hard work they put in to trimming and putting the mulch down. And from the community itself, from the middle school and the junior ROTC for helping out. Also, I just want to congratulate all the fall sports, volleyball, golf, soccer, track. They're headed off in a great direction. The Fitch Falcon football team, they're 4-0. They play LJ Bennett this weekend for homecoming. They're out of New York. And they also had a great win over Ursa. So, good luck to them.
Mr. Robert Santos.
Well, we already talked about
I know.
Redwood Parks, we go with that. We do have these, I'm not sure if you guys want to look over them so we can get the work done on at least the safety hazards, the roof on the pavilion area, the cement area, so no one gets hurt, falls through. I mean, I walked in it, you walked in it, you walked in it, at least
I
those
believe
things.
that was already approved. I mean, I don't know if Mike wants to look at that. I don't know about the bids, but I know we made a motion to fix those. We just need probably bids from either Tyler or
You got that, otherwise, I mean, yeah, 9/11, it was a great event. I mean, it's definitely something we need to always remember. I never want to have another 9/11 again in my lifetime, but I would love to have a 9/12. Our unity, D's and R's and I's and all that went out the window. We all put all that negativity aside and just work together for a better community, better nation. So hopefully we can get that back. Other than that, I don't have a price yet for the website. Darren and I talked to the website. For anything additional, it's gonna cost a little bit more, but if you guys, I'm sure you're all aware, zoning is a huge, I can't even say that word, a huge part of RSA website. So you're gonna add, I think, about 7 or 8 pages. Each one's like $100 each.
It's much bigger than
So-
police, fire, or road.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if we need an exact amount, or if we're able to just do a motion to approve up to like 1,000 for 10 extra pages. I think we did the math on it. I think it was 10 extra pages.
It's not as much as a fire truck.
So, do we do a motion on
That's
that?
fine.
or-
How do you even compare?
Compare that to a fire truck.
Big three, and then the rest of us get just.
During the conversation, he wanted a page for everything. We were at like 30 different pages, and then after talking to him, we had to realize, hey, no, 10 things can go on one page. So we got it down to at least 7 or 8. So I think it'll be good. I think the road departments, the fire departments, park departments are doing pretty good. It's just zoning is, you know,
It's a one-person.
I swear you had like 10 Red Bulls that one too. You were there like, you know, mini micro machine talking, but it was good. I mean, if you guys don't know, obviously we're having a new website, so it's looking good. Hopefully it'll be done by the end of the year. As long as we don't talk to Darren anymore about it, we won't add anything else. Other than that, thank you guys. I know it's an inconvenience to change the times for the meetings, but some things happen, you know, scheduling conflicts. And I appreciate you all adjusting your schedule to come here, so thank you.
Well, they've said it all, so we're good. We were all at the 9/11 yesterday, and it was very, very nice, very well done, very nice. I enjoyed myself being there, and like I said, we all should never forget that. So, with that being said, motion to recess to executive session for the following: to consider the appointment, employment, discipline, or compensation of public employees.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Santos?
Yes.
Mrs. Devers?
Yes.
Mr. Kemp?
Yes.
in association with Austintown Local Schools and Austintown Township.